Welcome to Real Safety Insights, real incidents, real consequences. We break down what went wrong so you don't repeat it. Stay alert, stay safe. This footage captures a high-risk warehouse incident where a forklift was transporting an unstable, overhigh stack of pallets. While maneuvering, the operator failed to notice a group of 3 individuals standing directly in the vehicle's path. Due to a lapse in situational awareness from both parties, the stack suddenly toppled toward the group. Fortunately, split-second reflexes allowed them to scramble away, and no injuries were reported. This serves as a critical reminder to follow OSHA guidelines. Pedestrians must never congregate in vehicle lanes and should maintain a 10-foot safety zone. Operators must never travel with elevated loads that compromise stability and visibility. Facilities must ensure clear floor markings to separate foot traffic from machinery. Remember, a single moment of distraction can be life-altering. Never stand on top of a loose load, especially when this soft. As he tries to stomp the mattresses down, the center of gravity shifts. Without solid footing or proper tie-downs, the stack leans over and collapses. He just wanted to take a short break. In a paper production warehouse, a red flatbed truck parked and loaded with massive paper rolls, each weighing over a ton. The rolls were placed upright in 2 rows, balanced only by side panels and friction. While the driver waited in the cab, a worker climbed onto the bed to check the alignment. Everything seemed stable. Tired, he crouched for a moment to rest and leaned against one of the upper rolls. That small contact triggered a chain reaction. The top roll slid forward, pushing the others, and within seconds the entire stack shifted and slammed against the truck bed. This incident shows that unsecured heavy loads must never be considered safe. Even slight pressure on an unstable load can initiate uncontrollable movement. Loads must be properly secured and should never be used as a support or resting point. The video captures a critical safety incident involving 2 men working near several old metal drums. While one man sits casually on top of a drum, the other uses a tool to apply force to a nearby container. Unknown to them, these drums contained residual flammable vapors. The friction and sparks generated by the work triggered a sudden and powerful flash fire. The blast knocked the seated man to the ground as flames instantly engulfed the area. Fortunately, those involved were able to scramble away. This serves as a vital reminder to never assume empty means safe, as old drums can hold invisible combustible gases. Proper safety protocols, including professional cleaning and degassing. During a busy morning shift in a textile finishing hall, an operator leaned toward the running calendar rollers to adjust a misaligned fabric edge. Because production speed was high, the sensors had not fully corrected the alignment. As the operator reached in, his arm was caught by the moving feed section and came dangerously close to a pinch point. As the rollers stretched the fabric, tension increased and the risk escalated. Fortunately, nearby workers noticed the situation and pressed the emergency stop button, safely shutting down the line. This incident demonstrates that rotating equipment must never be handled unless the machine is completely stopped and energy sources are isolated. Moving rollers can pull in fabric, gloves, or clothing within seconds. For safe operation, full shutdown and proper lockout procedures must always be applied. Several workers were attempting to lower large and heavy materials down a slippery metal ramp using a pallet jack. There was no proper loading platform or securing equipment available. During the process, the device tilted backward under the weight of the load and the heavy material suddenly began to slide uncontrollably. Such tasks should not be performed without an appropriate loading ramp and non-slip surface. The weight and balance of the load must be evaluated in advance. Necessary equipment must be used, and workers should wear suitable personal protective equipment. Safe planning is essential to prevent sudden risks. This is why you never step over guardrails. The worker couldn't tell the difference between the muddy path and the oil pit because the surface looked very similar. Fortunately, he managed to get out on his own, but it could have been much worse. A worker's inside the truck bed, helping to guide a crane load, but watch the heavy material leaning against the wall. As the crane lowers the new load, it bumps into the leaning piece, causing it to tip over. The forklift was on its marked path, but the operator failed to look back, and he reverses straight into a worker standing with his back turned. Being in the right lane doesn't mean you can skip checking your blind spots. These men are preparing a massive stone block inside a cutting facility. The worker makes a critical mistake by removing the bottom support while the slab is still freestanding. Without that small wedge, the center of gravity shifts and the entire block collapses instantly. The panels on the forks are not tied down. When he removes one, the rest of the stack becomes unstable because there is nothing holding them back. This footage captures a high-risk warehouse incident where a forklift was transporting an unstable overheight stack of pallets. While maneuvering, the operator failed to notice a group of 3 individuals standing directly in the vehicle path. Due to a lapse in situational awareness from both parties, the stack suddenly toppled toward the group. Fortunately, split-second reflexes allowed them to scramble away, and no injuries were reported. This serves as a critical reminder to follow OSHA guidelines. Pedestrians must never congregate in vehicle lanes and should maintain a 10-foot safety zone. Operators must never travel with elevated loads that compromise stability and visibility. Facilities must ensure clear floor markings to separate foot traffic from machinery. A single moment of distraction can be life-altering. Always make safety a habit. During a high-speed operation on a large industrial lathe, an unsupported heavy metal bar began to vibrate violently due to an unstable center of gravity. Within seconds, excessive centrifugal force caused the workpiece to bend and whip out of its axis with devastating power, shaking the entire facility and damaging nearby equipment. Fortunately, operators evacuated just in time. This incident highlights critical safety protocols. Workpieces exceeding standard length to diameter ratios must use a steady rest to neutralize vibration. Furthermore, rotational speeds must be meticulously calculated to prevent the whipping effect. Operators should never stand in the direct line of fire and must hit the emergency stop at the first sign of harmonic vibration. This footage captures a critical safety hazard within a manufacturing facility involving 2 workers maneuvering a large hexagonal metal component. Due to a lack of situational awareness and poor coordination, the heavy equipment lost stability and suddenly collapsed, pinning a worker positioned within the blind spot under the immense weight of the steel. This incident serves as a stark reminder of the vital importance of proper rigging and lifting protocols to prevent such occurrences. Establishing a red zone is non-negotiable. Personnel must never stand within the fall radius of a load. Teams must maintain clear communication and use proper barriers to secure the work area. A thorough pre-lift inspection of cables and balance points is essential, as even a momentary lapse can lead to life-altering injuries. At a construction site, a dump truck was unloading its cargo with the bed raised. During this time, a worker stood very close to the vehicle and even positioned himself under the elevated bed to manually clear stuck material. At that moment, A large rock broke free from the load and fell rapidly, striking the worker forcefully. The situation quickly turned dangerous. No personnel should ever stand under a raised dump bed or manually intervene during the unloading process. A mandatory safety zone must be established around the vehicle throughout unloading, and sufficient distance must be maintained from falling materials. Safe positioning is the key to preventing sudden hazards. This workplace incident occurred at a loading dock when a high-pressure gas cylinder was dropped during unloading, causing its main valve to shear off instantly. The immediate release of immense internal pressure turned the tank into a dangerous projectile that spiraled uncontrollably across the site, forcing workers to scramble for cover. To prevent such hazards, it is critical to follow strict safety protocols. Never drop or toss pressurized cylinders, and always ensure protective valve caps are securely tightened during transport. Using specialized equipment like forklifts or safety cages is essential for stability. Additionally, comprehensive safety training helps personnel identify high-pressure risks and respond effectively to emergencies, ensuring a secure environment for everyone. This industrial safety alert serves as a sobering reminder of the vital importance of following safety protocols in a manufacturing environment. During a routine operation, an employee leaned closely toward a high-speed rotating roller to adjust fabric. Because the worker was not wearing a protective head covering and had unsecured hair, her hair was suddenly caught in the moving mechanism. In an instant, the mechanical force pulled the individual into the machine's narrow clearance, leaving no time for an escape. This incident underscores the necessity of mandatory personal protective equipment, PPE. It is absolutely required to wear hairnets and keep hair tied back securely. Furthermore, operators must maintain safe clearance and follow lockout-tagout (LOTO) procedures, ensuring power is cut before any intervention. A failure in the rolling mill shoots out a strip of red, hot steel. It moves like a giant glowing snake at over 155 miles per hour. The workers scramble to escape as the molten metal whips around and takes over the floor. This footage highlights a critical safety incident within an industrial facility where a heavy panel is suspended from a forklift test lifting attachment. As the team attempts to maneuver the material, the unsecured load suddenly slips from its mounting and crashes onto a nearby workbench, narrowly missing the workers. This startling event serves as a sobering reminder of the unpredictable risks present in workplace environments when safety protocols are not strictly followed. To prevent such close calls, it is vital to ensure all loads are properly secured with secondary safety chains and that personnel maintain a safe distance from suspended materials. Furthermore, conducting regular equipment inspections and prioritizing situational awareness are essential steps to protect everyone on site. By emphasizing these precautions, teams can foster a proactive culture of safety and avoid potentially dangerous accidents. On the 29th of March, 2025, a harrowing incident occurred on a rain-slick local road when a woman on a motorbike narrowly escaped a catastrophe. As she slowed to pull over, a truck transporting massive logs passed by, only for one giant timber to break its restraints and slam onto the pavement. Thanks to her split-second reflexes, she abandoned her bike just before the log crushed it. This serves as a vital reminder for commercial drivers to prioritize load securement by double-checking chains and straps, especially in wet conditions. Meanwhile, all motorists should maintain a safe distance from oversized cargo and stay vigilant. Staying alert and reacting quickly, as demonstrated in this footage, is essential for staying safe when encountering unpredictable hazards on the road. At a production facility, an employee crossed a safety barrier and entered the operating area of a large industrial robot arm without isolating its energy. While attempting to fix a minor fault, he skipped shutting down the system. At that moment, the robot began its programmed cycle and trapped the worker between the suddenly moving mechanism and nearby equipment. This incident clearly highlights why safety rules are indispensable. Before entering a robot cell, all energy sources must be completely isolated and lockout-tagout procedures fully implemented. Safety barriers define the hazard zone. Violating these boundaries can lead to unexpected movement and serious injury risks. This footage captures a hazardous incident in an industrial chemical facility where a worker was transferring liquid into a pressurized tank. Due to a lapse in flow control, the chemical overflowed, splashing onto the floor and machinery. In seconds, the volatile mixture reacted, triggering an intense flash fire that quickly engulfed the workspace. This incident underscores critical safety lessons. Strict adherence to transfer protocols is vital to prevent overflows, and mandatory personal protective equipment, PPE, serves as a final line of defense. Furthermore, processing zones must have accessible fire suppression systems, and all ignition sources must be eliminated in vapor-rich environments. Ultimately, safety is a necessity. Vigilance and proper training are the only ways to protect the workplace. An employee wanted to make a small adjustment without fully shutting down the machine's energy. However, the system suddenly restarted. This unexpected movement created a serious crushing risk, and the worker found his hand in a dangerous position. The situation was quickly noticed, and intervention prevented a more severe outcome. This incident once again shows how critical it is to fully apply energy isolation and lockout procedures before working on equipment. Even the smallest intervention without making the machine completely safe can lead to serious risks. A forklift traveling on a city road merged into traffic with its steel forks extended forward and raised. The forks were elevated and not secured. Small steering movements and uneven road surfaces made the fork tips highly sensitive in position. For oncoming drivers, the first point of impact could have been these rigid, non-shock absorbing fork tips. Such vehicles must never be used in public traffic with forks raised and extended. The forks should be lowered to the ground and securely positioned, and the forklift should operate only in controlled areas. In a busy industrial fabrication shop, several workers were engaged in moving a large semicircular steel framework. While the team focused on positioning the heavy component, an older worker standing nearby became distracted, failing to notice the overhead movement of the equipment. As the steel frame was lowered, it swung toward the bystander, striking him and causing a hard fall to the concrete floor. His co-workers immediately rushed to provide assistance. This incident serves as a critical reminder of the importance of situational awareness in high-risk environments. It highlights the need for constant vigilance around heavy machinery, clear communication to ensure drop zones are clear, and the strict use of safety zones to prevent accidental contact and ensure everyone's safety. Maintaining 360-degree awareness is vital in industrial settings, where one lapse in judgment can lead to a serious equipment-related accident. As seen in the footage, two employees finished a conversation near a high-traffic transit corridor when one worker knelt to perform a task without scanning his surroundings. Simultaneously, a forklift with an obstructed forward view approached, striking the worker in a blind spot. To prevent such incidents, always respect the danger zone by maintaining a safe buffer from moving machinery. Follow the eye contact rule by never crossing a vehicle's path without a clear signal from the operator. Furthermore, operators must drive in reverse if a load blocks their vision, and all staff must perform a look up and look around check before changing their physical profile near active equipment to ensure total situational safety. On September 13, 2024, at a sand processing facility in Shaanxi Province, China, a loader truck lost its balance and tipped over during routine loading operations. Due to the weight of the transported material, the rear section of the vehicle lifted and the loader arm contacted the ground. After losing control, the vehicle moved backward and collided with nearby equipment. When operating heavy machinery, the weight and balance of the load must always be checked before lifting or transporting. The machine should be positioned on level and solid ground, and operators must follow the manufacturer's instructions to reduce the risk of tipping. These precautions are vital to preventing similar accidents. In a large textile facility housing hundreds of yarn bobbins, workers were performing routine tasks near high-speed winding rollers. While managing the racks, a worker experienced a momentary lapse in situational awareness and moved too close to an exposed rotating cylinder, becoming entangled in the mechanism. The incident occurred so rapidly that colleagues, including those in blue and black shirts, had to rush in to provide urgent assistance. This serves as a somber reminder that safety regulations must be strictly followed. Maintaining a safe distance from active machinery, staying alert to your surroundings, and ensuring rigorous training are essential measures. Proper machine guarding and knowing how to execute an emergency shutdown are critical to protecting every worker on the floor. This incident at a residential renovation site serves as a critical safety warning. While an excavator was digging near a building's foundation, the structural integrity was compromised, causing a massive wall and floor section to collapse into the pit. Fortunately, the ground crew noticed vibrations and evacuated just seconds before the impact, narrowly escaping harm. Despite the extensive property damage and debris, this collapse highlights the necessity of thorough engineering assessments and geotechnical surveys before digging near existing structures. To prevent such accidents, contractors must implement temporary shoring or underpinning to stabilize neighboring footings. Establishing strict safety buffer zones and maintaining active site supervision to detect early warning signs like hairline fractures are essential. Safety is the foundation of every professional job site. A dangerous situation occurred at a quarry when a worker was standing directly at the edge of a stone crusher's intake hopper. As a truck discharged a large load of rocks, the worker was unable to move away in time and was swept down into the machinery by the falling debris. The event unfolded rapidly, demonstrating the extreme risks of heavy industrial work when safety distances are not maintained. Fortunately, the individual narrowly escaped a tragic outcome, serving as a powerful wake-up call regarding the dangers of complacency on the job. Key takeaways include avoiding danger zones by maintaining a safe distance from operating machinery and material discharge areas. Intake hoppers should be equipped with guardrails or fall protection systems to prevent workers from slipping. Clear communication between truck drivers and ground workers is essential. In Peru, a woman was filming a rockfall near a cliff when sudden movement began among the rocks. People nearby warned her to move to a safer location, but she remained close to the edge. As the rocks shifted, emergency response teams later found her at the base of the slope. This incident strongly reminds us how dangerous, unstable terrain can be, especially during or after heavy rainfall. Rock falls, landslides, and sudden ground movement can occur without warning near cliffs or areas with loose soil. A safe distance from edges and steep slopes should always be maintained. This footage captures a startling incident on a public sidewalk where a woman was suddenly pinned by a falling tree while organizing her car. In an instant, the peaceful scene turned into a rescue mission as bystanders and neighbors rushed to lift the heavy trunk. This serves as a sobering reminder to maintain situational awareness even in familiar places. To stay safe, always scan your surroundings for unstable structures or aging trees, especially during harsh weather. Avoid lingering in high-risk zones like construction sites or under old branches. This event also highlights the importance of a quick community response and the need for regular urban maintenance to ensure public safety. By staying alert and looking out for one another, we can better navigate the unpredictable risks of daily life. This footage captures a hazardous incident during a concrete pouring operation at a construction site. While two workers were directing a concrete pump hose from a long-reach boom truck, the boom suddenly lost stability and dropped unexpectedly, striking a worker positioned directly beneath the equipment. Colleagues immediately rushed to provide assistance, and fortunately, the worker was able to stand up shortly after with help from the team. This event clearly demonstrates the unpredictable risks associated with working near heavy lifting equipment and high-pressure pump systems. The most critical lesson is to always maintain a safe clearance from the boom's operating radius and never stand directly under any components capable of falling. Construction firms must prioritize frequent technical inspections of hydraulic systems and ensure all personnel are trained in zone awareness. This footage captures a critical mechanical failure in a factory, showing how quickly routine tasks can turn into an emergency. A high-speed rotating component malfunctioned and, due to extreme centrifugal force and a lack of safety guarding, a worker was drawn into the machinery in seconds. Despite rapid attempts to cut the power, the momentum made the situation impossible to control. This incident is a sobering reminder of workplace safety. Mandatory machine guarding must be installed to prevent contact. Those workers must never wear loose clothing or jewelry that could become catch points, and emergency stops must be highly visible and accessible. Regular maintenance is essential to identify hardware wear before a failure occurs. Safety protocols are not optional. They save lives. In an industrial workshop, a worker performing an inspection on an active milling machine experienced a dangerous incident when their sleeve became caught in the rotating spindle. This lapse in caution and proximity to moving parts caused the worker to be pulled toward the machine, resulting in their clothing being completely torn away. Fortunately, the individual broke free and reached the control panel to shut down the power. This incident highlights critical safety lessons. Never perform inspections or repairs while a machine is running, and always wait for a complete stop. Wearing well-fitted safety gear is vital, as loose clothing can easily become entangled. This video captures a high-risk situation at a construction site where workers use a highly unstable makeshift walkway to transport materials across a narrow, unsecured plank suspended over a deep excavation pit. In one moment, a worker loses his footing and narrowly avoids a fall, showing how a routine task can instantly turn into a serious emergency. This incident is a sobering reminder that cutting corners for speed is never worth the risk. To prevent such incidents, always prioritize proper infrastructure by ensuring walkways are professionally installed with guardrails. Utilizing personal protective equipment like safety harnesses and high-traction footwear is essential near open pits. Furthermore, site supervisors must conduct rigorous inspections to fix hazards before work begins.